Hello everyone, and a good evening, a good afternoon, good morning, and a good present moment. Wherever you are in your location, please secure your space, attention, good intention, and good retention that you are here to receive the empowerment of triple world ruling Tara, the Tara that who conquers the three world. Three world refers to the three realms of desire realm, Kama Dhatu, form realm, Rupa Dhatu, and formless realm, Arupa Dhatu. It's only an enlightened one has a domain whose enlightened qualities can have the range to positively influence all beings. So we have very little power to rule even our little couple of square meters. We cannot even conquer our own thoughts. So therefore, it's a great opportunity to tune into that incredible quality of the Buddha mind, which Tara here is representing. So thank you, Sakya friends, and all the others, people who are helping to make this transmission and empowerment and teachings possible. I know it takes a lot of effort to make things coordinated, organized, getting everybody's time and energy available. So I rejoice the ability to bring so many people over around 60 countries, interest and time and commitment together is sounds like quite a modern day triple ruling world, triple world ruling ability. So to do this empowerment, first of all, we will do the Vajrasattva mantra 3 times. During this recitation, you can reflect to purify any kind of minor unintended transgression due to ignorance, carelessness, and disrespectfulness, and due to under the sway of afflictions. We deeply recite this Vajrasattva mantra to purify. So please join me in saying this. Homage to the Blessed One, glorious Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva Samayam Anubalaya Vajrasattva Denop Dijanjandu Membava Sudojayo Membava Anurado Membava Subajayo Membava Zarvaside Mebaya Zarva Karma Sujame Chidam Shireya Guru Aha Ho Bangava Sarvada Dangada Vajramamem Vajrambhava Mazamaya Sadva Om Vajrasattva Samayam Anubalai Vajrasattva Denaba Dijanjandu Membava Sudojayo Membava Anurada Membava Subajayo Membava Sarvaside Mebaya Sarva Karma Sujame Chidam Shireya Guru Ha 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 ho Bhagava Sarvata Dangada Vajramamem Vajrambhava Mazamaya Sadhu Om Vajrasattva Samaya Anubalai Vajrasattva Denaba Dijanjandu Membava Sudojayo Membava Anurada Membava Subajayo Membava Sarvaside Mebaya Sarva Karma Sujame Chidam Shireya Guru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhanga Sarva Dadangada Vajramame Manja Vajramba Mazamaya Sadhu. Deluded by ignorance, I broken sacred vows, the good and much. Highest Vajradhara, essence of great compassion, foremost one I take refuge. I confess all my transgressions of the root and branch vows of body, speech, and mind. I pray to glorious Vajrasattva, please cleanse and purify my accumulation of negative deeds, mental obscurity, faults, failings, and impurities. By this merit, may I reach Vajrasattva stage swiftly and also lead to that stage each and every living being. So with this now, I request you all to stay very present, rejoicing that we are all here, healthy and happy, and have the right attitude to see the importance of the Dharma, and particularly receiving of the authentic empowerment and teachings from unbroken transmission lineage. You must be in a fairly good, positive space to be present here tonight with everyone, instead of being distracted by many worldly activities that tend to take away our precious time, often defeating us. But people who are able to allocate their time to listen and study and do Dharma activities and our fruitful use of our time. So we should rejoice each other's company, particularly the blessed existence of the lineage of these practices, which comes down all the way from Mahasiddha, SØRYAGUPTA up till today. SØRYAGUPTA is one of the celebrated teachers of many Indian masters, including Atisha, the Great. Not to mention all the Tibetan lineage masters who follow them. So here we are doing the 21 Tara empowerment of that tradition. I've already done several first. And tonight we are doing the Tara who conquers and rules over 3 worlds. So in order to receive this empowerment, I have done the brief preparation, so you should generate the right intention that you're going to present, attend this empowerment wholeheartedly for the not just for you or today or this life, but for the sake of all sentient beings, for the future, so that they all attain enlightenment, free from suffering and the causes. It is for this I'm going to receive this profound empowerment of triple world ruling Tara. Triple world ruling Tara, what we call in Sanskrit is TRAI-LOKYA-VIJAYA-TΑRA. TRAI-LOKYA, Trai means 3, Loka means world, and then Vijaya means one who conquers. So, in order to receive this empowerment, the most important Mahayanistic principle motivating that I'm going to do this for the sake of all sentient beings, many of whom are ravaged by all kinds of fears of natural disasters, of calamities, of war, of being separated from the loved ones, being ravaged by illnesses, not recovering, and not being able to be with the loved ones, separated from many thousands of miles and longing for each other. So many sentient beings are completely stressed by many sufferings. And there is not a single one in the entire universe, in the 3 worlds, where this suffering is not affected. Just like there is not a single sesame seed that has no that lacks oil. Likewise, there is not a single sentient being who have no fear, no insecurity, no anxiety, and lots of burdens of sorrow, fear, and uncertainty. So you should develop a great compassion to those. Some of us may have our own share of sufferings and fears, but you remember, these are very minuscule, very small in relation to some people who carry the big burden to rule and bring their community into a good state, but they are all ravaged by flood and war and natural disasters, calamities, illnesses, and various epidemic diseases and man-made harm, and people have very reason to feel so frightened, so insecure. How can we do something that they can all be brought into solace, so they do not have the fear? If they found their way to meet refuge in the Triple Gem. How wonderful it will be. So we're going to dedicate this receiving of this empowerment, how to help people to reconstitute their mind, not to do anger, not to do greed, not to do ill will, but instead take refuge in the Triple Gem. So with this in mind, we're going to receive this empowerment of Tara coming from the SØRYAGUPTA tradition, and among the many classes of Tantra, this particular Tara belongs to the Anuttara Yoga Tantra, which has been transmitted by the great SØRYAGUPTA, great Maha Acharya, you can call it, Lopen Chempo in Tibetan, Maha Acharya, a great teacher because he's teacher of all the other teachers, like Atisha. Atisha is very highly revered. But remember, even Atisha was a disciple of SØRYAGUPTA. And so among those 21 Taras, tonight we're going to receive the Tara of the triple world-ruling Tara. And having concluded all the necessary preparation by the teacher, now it is to prepare the disciples. The mind and the body and the thought should be well tuned. You should briefly reflect on the severity of sufferings in the world that is caused by greed, hatred, ignorance, jealousy, and arrogance, and the like. You feel very sad for the world that are drowned in the sorrow of bad karma and afflictions and obscurations. But instead of recognizing their suffering is caused by this, their own selfishness, their own righteousness, they always lay blame on someone else. They point the finger to each other. Not only that, they try to get other people to agree with this and try to convict others as a cause of their suffering. And this perpetuates the very sufferings. So all the sentient beings are so disempowered to rule their mind. And they're losing their mind to their greed, hate, ignorance. And they're losing their mind to desire and attachment and competitiveness and so on. So you should feel very sorry for sentient beings and stay very present to receive this empowerment. Even if we are reasonably motivated to practice Dharma, often we are ravaged by laziness. We often put off the practice of Dharma second and doing other things as a major. People don't prioritize practice of Dharma because they don't realize the law of impermanence and certainty of death, and how quickly death comes unannounced. You don't need to be sick or old or poor, or you just have to be born, and death can come abruptly. You don't have to be sick, you don't have to be pronounced with some cancer or major diseases. You just have to be born. People die all kinds of odd times and places least expect. So it's fortunate that we have not yet died and alive until today due to the kindness of your parents and loved ones and good social system where they give you the medicine and protection. We should rejoice that we're still alive. And when we are dying and in everyday life, if you don't have Dharma, you're totally poor, you're completely destitute. If you have Dharma, you're rich. You know how not to think particular way, and you know how to contain and restrain your thoughts and words and deeds, and you are able to practice kindness to each other. So we need to boost our ability to do this through receiving this empowerment. So this particular empowerment requires us to make a mandala offering as a token to request the bestowing of this empowerment. So let's do that. Join your hands at the heart. If you have rice or flour, hold you in between your hands. As in-person empowerment, usually they distribute these things, But here you visualize you are given those, and you have hold in your joint palms and do the mandala offering. Mandala refers to cosmos. You're offering the whole world, the whole universe of your merit and wealth and good karma in the form of an exquisite cosmos as a token to request this empowerment, as a gratitude, as a way of respect, not only to the teacher and the present lineage masters, but his or her or their lineage master, all the way to Mahasi SØRYAGUPTA. So with this good inclusive visualization and devotion and expression of gratitude, we make the mandala offering. We recite the mandala offering, one verse prayer, mandala offering, believed to have written by none other than Atisha. So I will chant this slowly in English. All the grandeurs and all my mirror for the sun. This Buddha, enjoy the Omanguru Buddha Buddha Zaloza Barewa Rana Mendala Puja Menga Samunda Zabaran Zamaya. So having made the mandala offering, now join your hands at the heart in prayerful position, and you repeat after me the following words, which is requesting the teacher to bestowing of the empowerment. O Vajra Master, please pay attention to me. In order to benefit sentient beings, I supplicate to the great compassionate one to bestow upon me all the empowerment, to bestow upon me all the empowerment, to bestow upon me all the empowerment. Now, having made the formal request, now in order to receive the empowerment, you need to purify your mental continuum. Mental continuum means your attitudes, your thoughts, your feelings, your perceptions. Often they're tainted by some yesterday or day before or a couple of hours before events and things, or some deep-seated thoughts, fears, anxieties. And if you'd allow this to stay in your mind, you couldn't receive the empowerment. So you need to, just like a pot, the pot has to be clean before we pour any liquid in it to drink. Likewise, your mental continuum has to be purified. To purify this, visualize in the space above you is the Guru Amitabha, inseparable form of the Tara, this red Tara, who is one face, four-armed, surrounded by all the 21 Taras who are in holy presence, and with their presence, their presence inspires you, instills your faith and devotion, captivates you, that you have this electric feeling of being in the right place, right space, and right cause. You should feel deep sense of remorse and regret, and therefore do the 7 things. First is confess your wrongdoings, or bad thoughts, or it's kind of judgmental mind, or angry mind, or bad-mouthing habits that are against your Pratyamoksha, or Bodhisattva, or Vajrayana vows, or even just normal human conduct. But it's not received very well to hold those views, hold those conduct. All of those you should acknowledge them. I shouldn't do this, I confess them, I vow not to do them again in the future. So with this in mind, you do the confession when we say the 7-fold prayer in a minute. You should think of the confession deep down. So do that with this not so negative guilt, but positive regret. And you really feel like throwing up all the negative karma and habits in order to replace them. Because guilt and anger and resentment is just so disempowering. So in order to receive the empowerment, you have to get rid of those. So that's first one. Second limb is you should learn to rejoice. And you should feel happy for other people's kindness, generosity, their diligence, their generosity, their helpfulness. Instead of being jealous or instead of feeling I'm unlike them, what a bad, so pity. Don't think like that. You should rejoice other people's qualities, from ordinary persons to friends and to people you respect, and your parents, your teachers, Dharma masters, and particularly very noble, enlightened Sangha members, past, present, and historical, all the way to the Arhats, Bodhisattvas, all the Buddhas. You should think of all of the incredible qualities, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, His Holiness Sakyapoma teacher. All of these teachers incredible selfless work. You think of them, you see their photos, it just gives you hope, doesn't it? Yeah, so do that. Because that will empower you, boost your goodness. Otherwise, people feel sad for themselves and depressed over some things and anxiety over some issues, and these are so demeaning to us. So empowerment is empowerment where you learn to give up your emotional baggage. So here I'm simply facilitating in the form of Tara. I'm simply facilitating to help you to reconcile with your sadness and don't do sadness, but rejoice your brother, the mother, your kind, fair people in your life, and others, your maybe friends, and they have so many good qualities. You think of them, you should see, due to this, due to him, due to her, I can do little things like this, and she will rejoice them. And then extend it to all the qualities of the historical Buddha and all his disciples till now, and who has brought this wonderful teaching to our lap. So try to do this not just during empowerment, but also in every day. You should try to. Then you wouldn't know how to be sad and depressed and anxiety and worry and fear and insecurity and loneliness. All of these are quashed. That's the empowerment. So that's the first two, yeah? The third is the wish to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. So that is an ultimate bodhicitta, is to achieve Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. And try to meditate on emptiness every now and then. Try not to see this as real or that as real. Everything is so transient, so impermanent, so lacking of independent inherent existence. So try to meditate whenever you can about the emptiness. That's really ultimate bodhicitta, means try to see the emptiness of things. Don't try to see things being real or long-lasting. They are not. They're all impermanent. They don't really exist. They are just concocted by the wrong views. So try to think about that. That's the third limb. Fourth limb is to take refuge in the triple gem. Wow, just rejoice every day. I'm in the Buddha Dharma. I know the Buddha, I know his teaching. Even my knowledge of the Dharma is fairly limited, but I still know I have got the right group. I know that I'm on the right path, because this path is not some seeking an external savior, but rather to be the master of our own mind and conquer our inner demons. That is a refuge in the triple gem. People take refuge in society, money, wealth, power, status. These are not safe. Real safe is Dharma. So we need to revalidate the Dharma. Refuge is not just some prayers at the beginning of ceremonies. Refuge is always think of how true, how believable, how comforting, how medicine Dharma is, and then get well. This is the real refuge. This is a real
chúng ta thực
refuge.
sự là chữa lành như vậy.
That's the
Chúng
fourth
ta có thể
one.
nương
You
tựa
can
vào
think
giáo pháp
this
như vậy.
anytime. Okay, you
Ta
can
có
sit
thể
on
suy
the
nghĩ về điều
couch,
đó.
sip
Ta có
some
thể
drinks, and
ngồi
then have a
trên
better drink
ghế.
than that drink. You know, you
Chúng
just
ta uống nước
rejoice
và
how
chúng ta
true the Bodhicitta
nghĩ
teaching
về
is,
cái giáo pháp
how
Bồ Đề Tâm
profound
nó
the
chân thực như
teachings
thế
of the
nào,
Buddha is,
giáo
and
pháp
shake your
của
heads
Đức Phật
and
lại thâm sâu như thế nào.
just comfort yourself
Và
that you
chúng ta
have
hãy
found
tự mình
Dharma.
hãy quán chiếu
That
về điều
is a
đó.
refuge.
Và đó chính là
You
quy y.
wouldn't, refuge means you feel safe,
Quy y là
you
gì? Có
feel
nghĩa là
so
chúng ta an
sheltered,
toàn,
you feel
chúng ta
protected,
được bảo
because
vệ
you no
ở trong
longer
cái mái nhà
have to
của chúng
water
ta.
your mouth by
Bởi
looking
vì
for some other,
chúng ta
pseudo-spiritual gurus or people
chúng
to
ta không tìm
follow.
kiếm những cái
You
bậc
don't
đạo sư hay là
follow
những cái thứ
people, you
siêu
follow
hình
the
ở bên
Buddha
ngoài,
and his
mà chúng
teachings.
ta đi theo Đức Phật
That's a
và
real
giáo pháp của Đức
refuge.
Phật.
So
Thì
many
đó chính
people
là sự
follow
quy y chính đúng đắn.
ethnic-based groups and language-based groups as their refuge. They miss the Buddha. They don't realize the Dharma is the real refuge.
Có rất nhiều cái
The
nhóm được
Sangha,
đặt ra
of
tùy
course,
theo
could be
cái ngôn ngữ
Mahayana
của họ, nhưng mà
Theravada,
họ quên mất rằng là cái
Chinese
đối tượng quy y
speaking,
của họ là
Vietnamese
ai.
speaking,
Đối tượng quy y của họ chính là Đức
Sinhalese
Phật, nhưng mà họ
speaking,
quên mất Đức
Tibetan
Phật.
speaking, even Polish speaking.
Chúng ta
But
đặt ra rất là
real
nhiều nhóm
Sangha
nói tiếng
is
Việt,
your
tiếng
own
Trung, tiếng
inner
Anh, tiếng Ba
resolvefulness
Lan, vân vân.
to
Nhưng mà
rejoice the
chúng ta
Dharma
phải
and
hoan hỉ
then
với giáo
reflect
pháp
on this.
và chúng ta phải
This
quán
is
chiếu về
real
điều đó.
refuge, so that you are
Và đó thực sự
liberated
là
from your
quy
sorrow
y
and the cause
và
of
chúng ta có
sorrow.
thể
That's
thoát
the
khỏi khổ
function
đau
of
và nhân của
Sangha.
khổ đau. Thì đó chính là cái tính chất
So,
của Tam Đoàn,
revalidate your
Tam Bảo.
refuge,
Như vậy là chúng
Sangha.
ta hãy làm mới cái sự quy y của
Fourth
mình.
limb.
Đó là nhánh thứ
Fifth
tư
limb is
và nhánh thứ năm là gì?
generating the
Và
wishing
chúng ta phát
bodhicitta,
khởi Bồ Đề Tâm Nguyện.
meaning the making a
Nghĩa là
vow
chúng
every
ta
day to
có
attain
một cái lời hứa
enlightenment for the
nguyện.
benefit
Mỗi
of
một ngày là
others.
chúng
Just
ta đều làm lợi lạc cho chúng
try to
sinh
put this
và chúng ta có
aspiration.
thể thúc đẩy
Always
cái khát nguyện
aspire.
đó.
What is your wish if people
Và
ask you,
cái ước nguyện của
so
chúng ta
what
là
is
gì? Nếu
your
như mọi người hỏi
wish on the New Year Day? Is
cái
to
ước nguyện
not
trong
to
năm mới của
give
chúng
up
ta là gì?
bodhicitta,
Là chúng ta không từ bỏ Bồ Đề Tâm,
not to forget
chúng ta không
bodhicitta.
quên Bồ Đề Tâm.
That is your wish. This
Đó
is
chính là
this
cái
is
ước
the
nguyện của
sixth
năm mới.
limb, you know, the
Và cái
fifth limb.
cái nhánh thứ
Seventh
năm
limb
và cái
is
nhánh thứ sáu, thứ bảy
actualize
là
bodhicitta.
chúng ta thực hiện,
Not only
hiện
you
thực hóa
wish to
cái
do this,
Bồ Đề
but
Tâm
you
của chúng ta
actually
không
do
phải là
this.
chỉ là Bồ Đề Tâm
Like
nguyện
you're
mà là Bồ Đề
receiving the
Tâm hành.
empowerment.
Chúng ta
This
thọ
is
nhận cái quán
active,
đảnh này.
engaged
Đó là
bodhicitta
một
in
sự thực
action.
hành Bồ Đề Tâm,
Such a
một cái sự thực
wonderful
hành một
way,
cách rất là tích cực, một cách rất là
good to
tuyệt
be
vời
part of Sakya
để
friends,
có thể trở
is
thành
you
một
are
phần
actually
của Pháp hữu
harnessing
Sakya.
your engaged
Khi mà
bodhicitta.
Pháp hữu Sakya đang
And
thực hành Bồ Đề
particularly
Tâm
all of you
và tất cả các bạn,
translators
tất cả
and
những phiên dịch
others doing
và
this
tất cả những
empowerment
người
tonight,
mà phục vụ cho cái lễ quán đảnh
this
ngày hôm
very
nay.
participation
Và đây là một
is
sự tham
engaged
gia,
bodhicitta.
một sự gắn kết, một sự gắn kết
Because
Bồ Đề Tâm.
engaged bodhicitta
Bởi vì Bồ Đề Tâm
constitute
hành
generosity.
bao gồm sự bố
You're
thí, sự
obviously
rộng
giving
rãi.
your time,
Bởi
your
vì chúng ta dành thời
energy,
gian,
your
dành năng
linguistic
lượng,
skill,
dành kỹ
your
năng của mình,
attention.
dành
All
sự chú
these
ý của
things,
mình.
listening to
Tất
the
cả những
Dharma
thứ đó
is
dẫn dắt đến
incredibly
giáo pháp.
benevolent act of generosity.
Và đó là một hành
And
động
also
của
got
sự
discipline.
hào
You
phóng.
should give up
Chúng ta cần phải có
doing
kỷ luật.
other things.
Chúng
You
ta cần phải
should be
từ bỏ
free
cái
to
việc
do
hoạt động
this.
những cái việc khác.
And you try
Chúng ta
to,
từ bỏ
you
cái sự tự do làm những việc khác.
stop all things
Và
but
chúng ta
make
phải
this
dừng lại
happen.
những
So
việc
you
khác
have to have the
để cho chúng ta
discipline.
giúp
That's
cho
a
cái lễ quán
shila.
đảnh này có thể hiện
And
ra
even
được.
then the third is you're listening these
Và
teachings and
chúng ta khi mà
empowerment
chúng
with
ta
a
lắng
lot
nghe
of
giáo pháp,
patience and
chúng ta
tolerance.
kiên nhẫn, chúng ta
You
bao
know,
dung.
maybe I'm speaking too fast,
Và
but
có thể
yet
thầy
you
nói
are
quá nhanh,
patiently
nhưng mà
trying
thầy
to
các bạn vẫn kiên nhẫn, rất là
catch
kiên nhẫn
whatever word
để
you
có thể nắm
can
bắt những
get
từ
and
mà thầy
translate
nói
to others
và truyền tải đến những từ đó đến với
without
các đạo hữu
being
khác mà
impatient.
mà
Oh, I
không
can't get
mất
this
kiên nhẫn.
all. Forget it. I don't want to
Thầy,
do it.
vì
You're
các
not
bạn không
doing
thể
that,
nắm bắt
are
được
you?
hết cái lời của
I
thầy,
know you are
quên hết
not.
cái lời
You are
thầy.
there.
Các
And
bạn
this
vẫn
is
ở đây.
just sticking in there and
Và các bạn vẫn
translating
cố gắng
whatever you
để
can
phiên dịch tất cả những điều mà các
capture.
bạn nghe thấy.
And then those of you who are listening to the
Những người
empowerment,
mà đang lắng nghe lễ quán đảnh
some of you
này,
may be reasonably
một số
new,
người có thể
and
là
you're
mới,
just still sitting there
những người mà vẫn
wholeheartedly
kiên nhẫn,
attentive.
ngồi
This act
toàn tâm
of
toàn ý
being
để
really
lắng nghe
giving
giáo
your
pháp
attention to me
và tập
wholeheartedly
trung vào
is
lời
an
của thầy.
act of Bodhisattva.
Đó là hành động của Bồ Đề Tâm.
Listens.
Đó là hành động của Bồ Đề Tâm.
Bodhisattva listens patiently.
Bodhisattva listens thì lắng nghe một cách rất là chăm
not
chú.
just for the words, but the
Không phải
deep
chỉ là
meanings.
cái lời
Not
ngôn ngữ
just
bên
with
ngoài,
temporary
mà
meaning, but
cái ý nghĩa sâu
long-term
sắc ở bên
meanings.
trong.
That kind of receptivity
Cái hành
is an
động
act
thọ
of
nhận như vậy
Bodhisattva.
là một hành động của Bồ Tát.
You also do this with
Và
diligence.
chúng
You
ta
know, you
cũng
got a
làm
lot
cái
of you
việc
been
này
here at least half an hour before the thing started, and you're so enthusiastically, have your tea or food aside and made a simple food, and quickly attend here. This kind of joyful diligence, participation, not only during empowerment, we need to make this a habit to your duty or caring things. You should do it delightfully, joyfully, willingly, not showing weariness and so on. Do that willingly. And if you can't do it, also then don't do it. Don't feel bad you can't do it. These are the real bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas are very, very diligent. But bodhisattvas don't also push themselves too much. Bodhisattva knows the balance. And not being able to be happy what you couldn't do and just be contented with that. This is joyous effort. So try to engage joyous effort in everyday activities. Say you start early in the morning or late in the night, having to do a couple of hours or longer, and do them with some grace and dignity, or maybe excuse yourself with the grace and dignity. And that is the joy. Bodhisattva should conduct that way. And do them with good concentration. You are doing right now incredible concentration. And try particularly translating Dharma concepts and terms in your language so that your listener can understand, and you're also listening to yourself, to the empowerment, and you do with a lot of concentration, some terms, some words that you never heard before, like I may be using on occasion some Sanskrit words, but yet you're really attentive to it. This is concentration. Bodhisattvas concentrate, they concentrate because they don't want to lose themselves to distraction. So, and then with the wisdom. So all of this, combining all of this, is called the engaging bodhicitta. That's the sixth one. Then the last but not least, the seventh one, is merit, dedicating all the merit, all the good points. Merit is not some esoteric thing. Merit means good deeds, good karma you create from doing this. You offer it to all sentient beings. So with this in mind now, let us do the sevenfold prayer 3 times. Join your hands at the heart. Do this as a prayer, the meditation, the reflection, affirmation, whatever you call it. Try to make it so empowering, to make yourself very fresh and ready to receive the empowerment. I take refuge in the triple gem and confess all the negative deeds. I rejoice in the virtue deeds of all beings. I keep in mind the Buddha's enlightenment. In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, I take refuge in enlightenment. For the sake of others and my own, I shall cultivate bodhicitta. And with excellent engaging bodhicitta, I shall invite all beings as my guests. I shall practice this excellent conduct, the 6 paramitas. I dedicate to benefit all beings. I take refuge in the triple gem and confess all the negative deeds. I rejoice in the virtue deeds of beings and keep in mind the Buddha's enlightenment. In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, I take refuge in enlightenment. For the sake of others and my own, I shall cultivate wishing bodhicitta. And with excellent engaging bodhicitta, I shall invite all beings as my guests. I shall practice the 6 excellent conduct, the 6 paramitas. I dedicate to benefit all beings. I take refuge in the triple gem and confess all the negative deeds. I rejoice in the virtue deeds of all beings. Keep in mind the enlightenment. In the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, I take refuge in enlightenment. For the sake of others and my own, I shall cultivate a wishing bodhicitta. With excellent engaging bodhicitta, I shall invite all beings as my guests. I shall practice excellent 6 paramitas and dedicate the merit to benefit all beings. So that is the doing the sevenfold prayer. This is the most important preparation for the empowerment has now concluded. Now, in order to request the actual empowerment, you join your hands at the heart and you repeat after me this prayer. Oh, great Master, the embodiment of the Buddhas of the past, present, and the future, please bestow upon me the triple world ruling Tara's empowerment. Triple world ruling Tara's empowerment. Triple world ruling Tara's empowerment. So having now we have concluded all the necessary preparations. Now in order to receive the main empowerment, there are three empowerment. First is the holy body empowerment of the Tara. For this, visualize that as you stay very present with good intention, even better attention, and good retention, as you show great devotion and gratitude to the teacher in the form of Tara, then in response to your heart, the teacher's heart issues many rays of light, and then that touches the shrine, from the shrine, and the teacher's heart, teacher Tara and shrine Tara issues many rays of light like the sun shining, and it touches your body wherever you are, all dear friends, in all the 60 over countries, wherever you are in your home. Imagine the whole room become completely irradiated by this powerful positive energy of Tara and touches your body from top to toe, and it heals your karma, removes your bad habits and obscurations, negativities, thoughts, bad habits, wrong views, whatever, all of them become washed, and even your gross physical body, the physical aggregate, vanishes to emptiness. You become a ball of light. And now you should stay in that meditation state, meditative stage. All phenomena in the samsara and nirvana, all animate and inanimate, compounded aggregates, all vanishes in the emptiness. Like a rainbow vanishes, so does all your sufferings, karma, fears, anxiety, all vanishes tracelessly into emptiness. Now you out of the empty state of emptiness, this vast pool of infinite light, there appears instantly an 8-petal lotus flower. This is a red 8-petal lotus flower. On top of that is a solar disk, red solar disk. This lotus and the sun disk represent respectively the relative and ultimate bodhicitta. On top of that is a red seed silver ray, and this red seed silver ray issues rays of light to honor the Buddhas, heals all beings, and then that rays of light all absorb back into silver ray, and then you instantaneously manifest miraculously in one phase, four-armed red Tara. And your right hand is holding a Vajra. This is active thunderbolt of the realization of the nature of the mind. And the second right hand is holding a sword of wisdom. The wisdom that the wisdom sword, the wisdom that you brandishes to stay very alert with the wisdom. And then that's the first two right hands. Then the left hands, the two left hands, the first left hands holding a threatening gesture. So the left hands are more passive gesture mudras, so holding hand gesture, threatening. You are just warning. You are about to do strike, but you are not strike yet. If you do strike, that's the right hand that will strike. And before you do that, left hand is giving the passive aggression, if you like. And the right hand is the active expression. Second left hand is holding a lasso or lasso, a rope. That is again passive kind of a hand implement, which matches the active sword holding second right hand. And so with this in mind, you should visualize clearly yourself in the form of red Tara. And so at your forehead is a white syllable Om. At your throat is red syllable A, and heart is blue syllable Hum. So you should visualize yourself as elegant Tara, and right leg slightly outstretched, left hand leg slightly bending inwards. But as you visualize yourself as a red Tara with Om, white Om representing Vairochana Buddha, and representing Amitabha Buddha, you visualize syllable A at the throat, representing Akshobhya Buddha on your heart, and you visualize blue syllable Hum. And then as the rays of light shine from the syllable Hum, and from your Hum, it goes to invoke from the Potala realm, southern Potala realm, the red Tara, one phase, two forearm, the red Tara invoked, the wisdom being. Now, so far, the form that you have visualized is called Samaya Sattva. Samaya Sattva means symbolic form. That means the form. It's just the form. Now we have to invoke the substance or spirit. So that spirit is called Jnana Sattva, wisdom being of Tara. And the wisdom being of Tara is invoked in the form of Tara, huge as mountains, and a medium size of Tara as a human life form. Some is smaller and maybe a golf ball or little sort of fruit or size of a marble, or some as tiny as sesame seed, countless of the sesame seed size, inconceivable. All of them are absorbed into you. The Samaya Sattva Tara is absorbed by countless Jnana Sattva manifestation, just like a rain pouring into the water, or rain falling into the or snow falling onto the hot rocks, absorb into the hot rocks. Likewise, all the wisdom beings absorb into you, and your body from the crown to the toes become completely saturated by the blessings. So please, as I do the ringing the bell, imagine you are smelling the aromatic incense. You can hear incredible sound of the Dharma and mantra, vibration of all the enlightened beings absorbing and landing onto you. Cause yourself to be completely possessed by the Holy Spirit of red Tara. Okay, so this have to visualize that. through this saturation of the wisdom being Tara, now you have received the red Tara empowerment. All the empowerment means qualities, habits, wisdom and skill and knowledge of what Tara does, how physical energy are completely empowered into you. You're just injected by all the qualities of Tara. Your past physical habits, obscuration, negativity, sickness, suffering, all eradicated, healed. You just believe this, please. If you believe this, believing will heal you. And not only that, all habits and negative habits of the body, addiction, things like that. You really want to break your habits. Imagine you totally have no more left. To rise up from this empowerment session, you should say, I've changed. And so don't do this. Don't touch drugs. Don't drink alcohol. Don't do those things that are harmful to your body or other sentient beings. Do not resort to aggression or anything like that. You are completely subdued and tamed. You're totally touched by the Buddha Dharma because you have completely maintained your self-control to do not do anything bad by the body, but you're blessed to do things. You see everyone as Tara, and you see everyone as in their good qualities, and therefore you respect them. And this is the empowerment, really. If you are meditating on the Tara sadhana any time is good, but the purpose of that is so that you can have this ability to see everyone as an object of respect and honor, care and gentleness. So that's this sows the seed of Nirmanakaya, okay? And you should always make a habit of, you have the permission to meditate on this red Tara sadhana. And you should own a tanka or writing of tanka, the drawing of this or image of this tanka, and put it as your yidam, and keep it as your part of your shrine to practice. And now the second empowerment is empowerment of speech. For this, please think this. Till you are in the presence of the teacher red Tara, as you are now identical form of Tara, from the mouth of the teacher red Tara issues from the seed silver ray, surrounded by Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha, that's general Tara mantra, and then issues out a mantra rosary, comes out through the Tara's mouth and goes into your mouth and goes into your throat and then goes, unveils the mantra rosary in your heart. So with this in mind, you should visualize that at your heart chakra there is this mantra of this particular Tara. Of course, often they recite the 10 syllable mantra, but here you can repeat after me the specific mantra of this Tara as well. Om Tare, Tutare, Ture Soha, Om Tare, Tutare, Ture Soha, Om Tare, Tutare, Ture Soha, Om Tare, Tutare, Ture, Sarva, Vignan, Shatrun, Uccataya, Swaha, Om Tare, Tutare, Ture, Sarva, Vignan, Shatrun, Uccataya, Swaha, Om Tare, Tutare, Ture, Sarva, Vignan, Shatrun, Uccataya, Swaha. So with this recitation, due to the three recitation, during the first time, your heart is now arrayed with the mantra rosaries. Second, it fuses with the mantra blessings, oral mantra blessings come from teacher's mouth, goes, absorbs into your mouth, so you grace. And third, it becomes stabilizes that you from now onwards, you have this incredible blessed way of guarding your speech, saying kind, healing speech. And, whether it's not just the mantra, but what you say becomes like a music. You're so kind, you're so thoughtful. So this you have received the oral transfer mantra. Now by way of saying, please, I have received the blessed mantra, please consecrate this. So to request this, you repeat after me. This imagining you are strewing some flowers to me. Which means, oh blessed one, I having held this mantra, please consecrate these blessings, please consecrate these blessings, please consecrate these blessings. Now, having made the request and strew some flowers to the teacher, teacher picks up the flowers and then bless them in the mantra rosaries, and then throws them to you as a mantra garland on your crown, and then the blessings is given. So they're like a blessings given, so that you have the power. Meaning, blessing means positive habit. That you have the power to practice kind speech, wise speech, intelligent speech, compassionate speech, tolerant speech, joyful speech, and a wise speech, mindful speech. So this is the blessing. Blessing is not some pills to swallow, some relics to go around the world. Blessings is that you have incredible mental reconstitution to mind your speech as a mantra is. So this is the process the teacher will give. Through this you have received the holy Tara speech empowerment. That means you have the power to guard your speech, power to say incredible, wise, kind, thoughtful speech, and you will never do anything hurtful, divisive, negative through your speech, and you are worthy of listening to by everyone, because where you show, where you teach, where you guide, where you help other people feel truly supported, empowered them, and you shall never hear any wrong saying, bad mouthing of other people with the judgment, fear, and hear them with kindness and tolerance and forgiveness, so that you are able to hear everything as a mantra and hear all sound as an emptiness, not truly really mean much, and because you know they are empty of inherent existence. So that doesn't matter what they say. Sure, people lose their grip and say things that's not so skillful, but you didn't have the skillfulness to transform unskillful things of other people to make yourself more skillful. This is the mantra. This real mantra is that. Hey, if you can't pronounce Sanskrit mantra, it doesn't matter. You recite the real mantra. Real mantra is just mental agility, mental flexibility, and then you guard yourself from all discursive thoughts. That's the ultimate mantra. Anyway, so you have received the oral transmission of the mantra, and your speech is purified, and you are blessed with the blessed speech. And you should try
Dear
to make a
Rinpoche, excuse me please,
mantra.
but could you please improve your sound and repeat your advice? Because it is some problem with the sound.
I will try to see if the sound improves. Technically, there's not much I can do. Hopefully, all the right causes condition improves the sound. So anyway, we concluded that. Now we move to the third, which is the empowerment of the mind. For this, let's do the meditation. You should sit upright in a meditative state, knowing that you are Tara, and you are in the presence of the teacher, who is also Tara. As you do this, eye-to-eye contact with Tara teacher and yourself, from the teacher's Tara's heart, raise a light shine and strike to the shrine Tara. And both from the teacher and the shrine, many raise a light shine towards the southern And then they implore the mind of the red Tara, and then from the mind of the red Tara in the southern Potala, from there the non-conceptual transcendental wisdom of the red Tara, inconceivable number of Taras come to you, and it absorbs into you, particularly absorb into your heart chakra, into the syllable ray. And this allows yourself to place in a deep blessing of meditation, that your heart becomes fused in that state of mind. So try to meditate on this inseparability of the mind. So as I ring the bell and recite the mantra, please do that. Through this you have received the holy mind and blessings of the Tara. That means that your mind do not have the normal traits, habits, attitudes, opinions, behaviors, any of those mental obscurations of your past selves are all eradicated, but instead you are seed of the mind has sown to think kindly, wisely, compassionately, and with lots of respect, devotion to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, and kindness to sentient beings, never forgetting his bodhicitta.
Chúng ta không quên Bồ Đề Tâm.
So with this we have now concluded all the three empowerment. Now as a conclusion of this empowerment, you have to promise to hold the
Đức Độ Mẫu Tara là bổn tôn của chúng ta.
So with this mind, you repeat after me. I promise to pay heed to the teachings. I promise to hold the Buddha's precepts, and not forget the bodhicitta and the right view. And not forget the bodhicitta and right view. Not forget the bodhicitta and right view. So with this now we make a Thanksgiving mandala offering, which is offering your body, speech, mind, your good virtues, and all qualities in the form of universe as a token of gratitude.
Con quán tưởng thành cõi Phật và xin dâng cúng nguyện hết thảy chúng sinh
Commencing from this time, I offer myself to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. I try my best to practice holy Dharma. May you take me as your disciple. May you take me as your disciple. May you take me as your disciples. So with this we have concluded the empowerment of the red Tara. Now I'm going to do the lung, the oral transmission of the sadhana. So just bear with me.
Chúng ta hãy lắng nghe thầy.
Nam mô A Lai Ke Dan Lu Dan Ni Jing Ke Tu Gon Da Da Mi Ke Nan Da Ro Ken Yi Da Na Ji Da Tam Je Ke Do Da Ke Chu Dan tổ ta tan tro na ga ta ta ni be sim chen de tu nu nu ji ni mo le ba na ma da wa na la ji do bo so ye jang na me jo pa be ge ni na la ja zu xie dun so ju sim chen tam ju do bo san ye go ma da wa ja de ju ji zhen zhao ma ma mo gom de niang zu lang wa jie wo zang jie xie le som ju ran ge ji ji zu ma se be du ga tu ga ne be re le wa ze zhe ben de ju du ga na la ma wa ba me ji高完的也能够安排在上班在我帮我在我们的那蒙古人们那的撒巴雷瓦人被阿耶的撒巴尔干巴的比如叫的关注中的大家是连松酒甚至他们的电话说前面西工我们去年也的讲的没是松巴瓦马高往东边安来帮来白马马波你们的来人来着马马下去查西嘛也的也当不多些的你别来的用当不的这的你别小班能把身边寂寞这个修把照让这嘛都个红了这呗当年的就是什么东西，就是专门我们在上面找我们，往给来人关的，我们在上面第一个他们就到了我们，现在说的是的，他们怎么讲呢？说西里把现在说也没有去到韩国这边去了嘛，要了把美国去投给的。都跟单位定的人他，但俺这个了，每天我们大家都些今年俺什么他们叫他们我这嘛来把早都说，些就给完的牛都的就是这么注意，我这样的啥啷个把它说，so through this we have concluded the triple world ruling Red Tara empowerment. Thank you very much, everyone.
Như vậy đến giờ phút này thầy đã hoàn thành cái lễ quán đảnh Đức Tara Tam Giới Chánh Nhiếp Độ Mẫu và chúng ta sẽ nghỉ giải lao 10 phút. Sau đó thì thầy sẽ giảng về nghi quỹ. Thầy vừa khẩu truyền nghi quỹ cho chúng ta xong. Chúng ta nghỉ giải lao 10 phút.
Hello, everyone.
Thầy xin chào tất cả quý vị đạo hữu.
Hello.
Thầy xin chào các quý vị đạo hữu.
Hello, everyone. Is sound okay now?
Bây giờ âm thanh đã ổn chưa?
Okay, so I believe you didn't quite receive the third empowerment. There was a sound problem, so I'm going to briefly repeat this. So maintain your pure visualization of being in the presence of the Holy Red Tara. Yourself also a Red Tara. As you show great devotion to the teacher Red Tara, from the heart of the teacher Red Tara, infinite rays of light shine, goes to strike the shrine, and to the shrine, from the shrine and from your heart, rays of light goes to implore the Tara dwelling in the Potara realm, and that implores the Tara dwelling in the Potara realm, and from whose heart the inconceivable number of taras, which are the symbol of the taras in non-conceptual transcendental wisdom, manifest as a red lotuses absorb into you, and then yourself who is in Tara is completely saturated and consecrated by this absorption of the many red lotuses on top of you. While doing this, I will recite the mantra and ring the bell. Through this, imagine that you have received the holy mind and continuum of Tara to be that of yours. So all your mental thoughts, views, opinions, memories, perceptions are all allayed, and all the obscuration connected with them are removed. Your mind has become completely elevated to the status of the powerful, wise, compassionate mind of Tara, who is filled with love and compassion towards all sentient beings. And you don't see anyone but your children like sentient beings. And you have amazing compassion, you have mindfulness, you have wisdom, and you have power, tolerance, all of those qualities, as well as you never forget bodhicitta, and you're always meditating in the right view. With this, you have then received the third and last empowerment of triple world ruling Tara. So with this, we have just concluded the third empowerment. Now, I'm requested to give the teaching, short teaching on the sadhana of the Tara. Hope that the sound here is continuously flows without too much technical problem. The sadhana is the practice of the Tara, formal practice Tara. Once you receive the empowerment and the lung, and which I did, oral transmission at the end of the sadhana empowerment. Now you have to do that understanding of how to do the sadhana. The sadhana of Tara, who is victorious over 3 worlds, is the title, which means that means of achieving the qualities and characters of the Tara. I mean, sadhana means you have to adopt and elevate and promote yourself as being Tara, and you dignify your own identity as being Tara. And as you're not intimidatable by anything or anyone or whatever in the whole 3 worlds. And so that is really the main gist of the practice. The sadhana can be divided into 3 parts. That is the preliminary, the main, and the conclusion, the structure of the sadhana. The preliminary is mainly the accumulation of merit and accumulation of wisdom. These 2 are the kind of causes for attainment of the true kayas. If you don't have the merit and the wisdom as the raw material, you cannot attain the Taras, Rupakaya and Dhammakaya. Why? Because without the merit and wisdom, you are impeded from achieving the true kayas by your 2 obscurations. The 2 obscurations are afflictive obscuration, that is karma and afflictions and all the habits to do with this. And the cognitive obscuration or knowledge obscuration is the wrong view, thinking you are your name, your ethnicity, your success, your failures, your gender, and then thinking others are that gender, all these kind of cognitive obscuration. What you know is wrong. Everything what you know is wrong. And until these wrong knowledge are removed by disowning your sense of ordinary identity with the name and aggregate and personality, you cannot gain Buddhahood. You cannot achieve nirvana. So that's why we have to accumulate merit to remove the afflictions and karma, so that you can attain Rupakaya. And then you need to accumulate wisdom that removes the obscuration of knowledge to achieve the Dharmakaya. So that's the reason why the preliminary consists of cultivating these 2 accumulations. There are 2 accumulations, accumulation of merit and wisdom. The accumulation of merit consists of accumulating merit by taking refuge and generating bodhicitta. accumulation of merit, refuge and bodhicitta are really common thing to all Mahayana practices, because refuge gives a good foundation for your pratimoksha vows to be stable, and without the firm foundation of self-discipline, you cannot gain meditation, let alone wisdom. So the firm foundation of pratimoksha is renewed each time you take the refuge. And then when you renew the bodhicitta, say from this time until ascending enlightenment reach steadfastly, I take refuge in the glorious root guru and the holy master lineage. You're taking refuge in the root and lineage gurus, and take refuge in blessed accomplished Buddhas. You're taking refuge in the Buddha. You're not taking refuge in some worldly gods or some creator being. Take refuge in holy teachings, means your real refuge is in the teachings, okay? Not to people or refuge, robes or colors or tradition or language. Your real refuge is in the Dharma. When you have refuge in the Dharma, you have to realize what you have to change, your own thoughts and views and habits, not try to expect to change other people. Of course, if they will change, if they change, but you cannot see their change until you change. You have to do the Dharma. If you practice Dharma, then you will see the change in others. Even when someone is really aggressive to you, because you are refuge in the Dharma, you can see the aggression as your unrealized love and compassion to each other. And so you have the save. You're safe from harm, being harmed by other people's aggression, because you have refuge, because you are covered. You have coverage, they call it. You have insurance policy. Because you have Dharma, you do not get harmed by other people or places or spaces. It's all your lack of right refuge makes yourself vulnerable. So I take refuge in the holy teachings. I take refuge in the noble assemblies, that in order for you to have the fitness and the aptitude to practice Dharma, you need to always be respectful of your own Sangha. You need to protect your Sangha from becoming disarrayed or disharmonious or being judged, being divided into groups and things like that. You should try to protect them from falling away and try to care for each other. If somebody is a little bit down or not quite right, you should be gentle with them. You shouldn't throw sticks and stones at them. You should see them needing care and compassion and support. That is the real Sangha. Sangha doesn't mean that you look in the Savior and other people's perfect qualities saves you, and that your faith is not shaken because they're so good. It's not like that. It's that your faith is so strong that other people's difficult problems are caused of your instability. That's a real resourcefulness. Your real refuge is the one who's liberated from hate and ill will and judgment. That's a real refuge. So you have to take refuge in the Holy Sangha and try to show respect to elders and the Sangha members for their views and opinions, even you cannot always agree with them. Just don't be so aggressive and aggressive and hostile to prove them wrong or something. It's always, everything's relative to what is right and wrong. Don't be so fixed in views and limited view. That's not Sangha. Sangha is to be inclusive and how you can allow. So take refuge in the triple gem in that sense. So you recite the refuge prayer 3 times while imagining in the space before you Guru Amitabha, surrounded by root and lineage gurus, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. You take the refuge prayer, you do the refuge prayer 7 or 21 times, as many times as you're able. It doesn't mean you reciting many times is better. If if your concentration is not so good. Try to do at least 3 times. But during that, you should have as good a concentration as you possibly can. So do the refuge. And then after that, you generate in the Guru and the 3 precious gems, I bow down, take refuge, may you bless your mind stream. So you supplicate to the Guru, root and lineage Gurus and refuge object to bless your mind stream. Imagine all the refuge object dissolves into you, and then you have renewed your refuge and Pratimoksha vows. So that's the purpose of the refuge. Then the generation of bodhicitta. Generation of bodhicitta means that your heart should be filled with altruism of doing the sadhana, as well as doing anything in your everyday life. For the sake of all sentient beings, I must reach level of perfect Buddhahood. For the purpose, I shall practice the meditation, recitation of triple world ruling Tara. So you are wishing and engaging bodhicitta are both renewed by reading these 3 times and then saying, I'm going to generate bodhicitta. For that purpose, I'm going to do this sadhana. So you're doing sadhana is engaging bodhicitta, and so therefore you should always make a habit of not forgetting bodhicitta, renewing your bodhicitta, revising your bodhicitta. And that sort of reduce your Mahayana or Bodhisattva vows, and therefore these refuge and bodhicitta are two very fundamental common preliminaries. Common preliminaries to uncommon preliminary. Uncommon preliminary is accumulation merit and accumulation wisdom. So how do you do the accumulation merit? First you invoke the merit field. In an instance, from the red seed syllable ray in the heart of oneself. You should visualize in your heart syllable seed syllable ray and the rays of light radiate from this and invokes all the 21 Taras presided over by red Tara manifest before you. Om Vajra Samanja. You recite the mantra, do the hand gesture to invoke, snap the finger across the heart, and then, so that's the invocation of the merit field. Invocation of merit field so that you can do the meritorious things. What are the meritorious things you can do? You can do the 8 offerings and do the 7 prayers. The 8 offerings are consisting of offering drinking water to the mouth of the Tara, so as to people, sentient beings are blessed with the knowledge, water of knowledge of the Dharma. That's a real drink. So you should, with that, you should recite the mantra, Om Tarya Tara Saparevara Argam Ahum. So that's the drinking water. Likewise, you do the second, that is the feet washing water, Om Ayatara Saparevara Padyam. For that, the gesture is same, the mantra is slightly different, Padyam. And imagine that the water that you offer for the feet to the Tara washes away your dirt, pride and arrogance. So with that you make the offerings. Then the third is offering of a flower, Omayatara Saparevare Pushpe Ahum Soha. So all the mantras exactly same except the middle word Argam, Padyam, Pushpe, and Dupe and so on. The rest is mantra is same. Same goes with the mudra. The main mudra is same. At the middle of the mudra, the Argam is like this, Padyam is like this, Pushpe is flower, and Pushpa is flower. So when you offer flower to the head of the Tara, and then you request so that all the qualities in you and others blossom and manifest more easily than taking long time to grow and change. And then the 4th one is Dupe, which is incense. So mantra is Omayatara Saparevara dupe and ahung. So that is dupe is the incense. So incense is offered to the nose of the Tara. So they're all sentient beings, and yourself are beautifully scented with their honesty and pure morality and self-discipline. This is the highest kind of scent is your honesty. So then the next fifth one is Omayatara Saparivare, and then Aloke, which is Aloke Ahung. So Aloke is offering of lamp to the eyes of the Tara. May all sentient beings gain the divine eye of wisdom, just seeing the truths, Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Noble Path, and the right view, and all of that. That's a real seeing. May all beings gain the torch of wisdom. Then next one, Omayatara Sabarevare. Gande is perfume. So that is offering the perfume to the chest of the Tara, and you offer prayer. May all beings have the reservoir of faith. May their faith be not shallow and dry up very quickly, but faith in the law of karma, and the Dharma, and the Buddha, and the teachings. And a faith that doesn't mean some kind of faith in some people or something that people will always be kind to you. That's not the faith in the Dharma, faith in the power of your own loving kindness, power of the loving kindness, power of tolerance, faith in the incontrovertibility of your law of cause and effect. So faith is not blindly believing someone being holy or flawless, and these are not faith. These are just expectation. Faith is knowing clearly that you yourself know the workings of the law of causality. So you're not at the whim of what other people do, but in the faith in the workings of the law of cause and effect as taught by the Buddha. So faith, that kind of, may sentient beings be wafted by the by the aroma of a pure faith, aroma of pure faith, or reservoir faith, And then the seventh one is Omayatara Saparevare. Nevide is food. So food you offer to the tongue of Tara, and you ask all the sentient beings to be fed with the daily meditation. Real food is meditation. And however many times you eat during the day, 2 times, 3 times, you will always be hungry. You're still starving when you don't practice Dharma. So may I practice Dharma? May I really feed the real food, or listening to the Dharma, study the Dharma, reading the Dharma, doing the sadhana each day is the real food that you are giving. All the other food has a physical function, I suppose, but still they are just gross meat and physical food. The Buddha himself fasted to attain enlightenment. He didn't depend entirely on food to attain enlightenment. He knew the body depends on food, but he didn't indulge in the quality and quantity and the varieties of food, let alone food that is directly causing injury to other living beings. Buddha was very careful of how to moderate food in terms of the amount and the quantity and what you don't eat and why you don't eat and with what intention you should. Even some people do abstain from meat and things, but the intention shouldn't be because the meat is dirty, my body is cracked. Quite a lot of people abstain meat because of health reasons. Of course, there's nothing wrong with it, but still they think that their body is pure and then they don't want to dirty it with that. That's not quite the right attitude. So most people are eating a lot of food but still starving. So real food for thought is a dharma and wisdom. So therefore, when you offer food to the Buddha's mouth, you're actually praying, may I not forget myself to feed myself with the daily practice of meditation. The last is Omayatara Saparevade Shabda Ahum. So that is the last of the 8. That's offering of music. Shabda means sound. And so that you're offering to the ear of the Buddha, musical instruments and sound offering. But main offering is you visualize may all sentient beings by making this offering of sound, practice the real music, right speech, and may they never utter bad words, harsh words, judgmental words, negative words, critical words. May they practice kind speech. So with this in mind, when you do the mantra, mudra, and dhyana, while doing the sadhana, it's a profoundly meritorious practice to do the mantra, mudra, and dhyana when you do the 8 offerings. So that the 8 offerings constitute dana paramita. The dana means giving, You can give money to each other, but you really should give this understanding. Dharma is so precious, so much more precious than any money can buy. So therefore try to acquire Dharma. So that's the accumulation merit by making offerings. And then the second is accumulation merit by doing the 7-fold prayer. So I went through the 7-fold empowerment, 7-fold prayer quite in detail during the empowerment, haven't I? So that's very much covered. I don't need to repeat them. The only thing is that during sadhana, every day you need to review these 7-fold prayers and try to deepen your understanding. Don't just say it 3 times. Say the second time. Then the second time, try to repeat the meaning of the deeper than before. And the third time, much more deeper, That is the, what do you call the repeating 3 times. So there's no merit in repeating just for the sake of repeating, unless you go deeper, that level on the second level that the first level we didn't quite get there. You repeat the 3rd time so that the 3rd level is getting really profoundly deeper than the 2nd and the 1st. That's with this kind of certitude and attitudes, you need to recite the 7-fold prayers. And then, so that's accumulation merit by doing 7-fold prayer. Basically, doing all the 7-fold prayer, you are getting rid of the demeritorious guilt and resentment by compassion, and sadness and depression by rejoicing, and so on. So you can see why the 7-fold merit by looking at what are their antitheses, and then how they are supposed to be destroyed by these 7-fold prayers. So next one is accumulation merit by meditating on the 4 immeasurables. So 4 immeasurables are immeasurable loving kindness, compassion, joyfulness, and equanimity. So if you have loving kindness, it's so wonderful. When you have loving kindness, you will do whatever it is to make someone happy. Even you have to go out of your own way. You make them happy, you let them go. If someone wants to do something, you just let them do if they'll make them happy. Of course, you don't do that to spoil them or to make yourself doormatted or something, but you do it out of genuine love, so that their fear of not being given attention to them are allayed and their hope is materialized. And when we practice loving kindness, we should make someone happy. Whatever you have to do, just go and do it. Just go and open the door. Just go and let them do for whatever it is. You can see quickly they become happy. And then once they're happy, you can just say, okay, now let's move on from here. And they probably will agree. It's incredible. Compassion is the second immeasurable compassion. Compassion is the antithesis of ill will and violence. and aggression. So you have to practice compassion. Compassionate people practice patience physically, verbally, mentally. Because you're compassionate, you don't want to retaliate physically, verbally, mentally. So you are basically out of kindness. You're not questioning who's right and who's wrong. But when the other is so flawed by their bad way of doing it, you just out of compassion try to support them to allay their suffering as quickly as possible through your ability to go out of your own comfort zone. That is compassion. Then the third is may sentient being never apart from happiness. Means that they not become sorrow. Means that may they have a joy out of humility, joy of generosity, joy out of practicing patience, joy out of diligence, joy out of lack of resentment, lack of discontentment, joy of. These are the real joy of kindness of your mother, joy of having discovered Dharma. These are joy that will not diminish, deteriorate into sufferings. So joy is a really powerful remedy for sadness, depression, and anxiety. Those people who are doing those, they are not free to have joy of any kind. They lack joy, you can tell, because they don't have contentment, they don't have humility, they don't rejoice other people's effort, and they say, I'm unlike them, what a terrible, I'm not good. This is not useful. So it doesn't mean you should be like others, but when you are not like others, you at least rejoice theirs, and then you aspire and pray to be like them one day, because they are such a good example, and they are doing this for a reason to help people like me. If you think like that, it's a joy. It's really slowly cultivated. Joy is not independently truly there. You have to slowly cultivate. And then the fourth one is measure of equanimity. That is the ability to have this amazing wisdom to stay not too detached from others, not too attached with some. You shouldn't be too biased against someone or biased towards somebody. This way of practicing is equanimity. So equanimity, these four, loving kindness, compassion, joyfulness, equanimity, are called four immeasurables. They are immeasurable because if you practice these four, your four elements, your earth, water, fire in your body, will be helped to harmonize. Earth element is your solid bone, muscle, joints. And water element is fluid in the body, your blood, and quality of your blood. Your fire element is your joy, your actual digestive system, your metabolism. Your air element is your respiratory system. And so don't suffocate yourself. Practice equanimity. It will give you new breath. So these are called accumulation merit. Will remove all your karmic hindrances. So accumulation merit. Then the last one is accumulation wisdom. Accumulation wisdom is meditating on the state of emptiness. So for that you recite the mantra Om Swabhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Swabhava Shuddha Hang. That is to contemplate on the meaning that all phenomena that appear or exist both in samsara and nirvana are and not truly existing. They are all empty by their own nature. They are just propped by many causes, conditions. They don't really have any leg to stand on their own. So therefore, do not see anything real, permanent, independent, truly existing, including yourself, your past, your karma, your people, or their way of doing things. just see them as all illusion, and then recite the mantra Om Svabhava Shuddha Sarvadhamma Svabhava Shuddha. You vanish yourself. So that is the accumulation of wisdom. That is the removal of the obscuration knowledge. Then the main meditation. So that concludes all the preliminaries of the sadhana. This is identical to any one of the 21 Tara or other Buddhamaya and Vajrayana sadhana. They all have this part. And then the main part is different, only in form. In substance, they are exactly the same. Whether it's Manjushri sadhana or Tara sadhana, it's only the form and color and symbol are different. Otherwise, the main thing is exactly the same. So, as is the preliminary. All the preliminaries are same in every sadhana. Then the main meditation becomes out of the state of emptiness. Out of the state of emptiness which you have meditated yourself becoming, there appears a red lotus represent the relative bodhicitta, and the sun disk represent ultimate bodhicitta. From there is a red silver ray on top of that stand. That's your consciousness. And then these three transforms into yourself red Tara with one face and four arms. Your right hands are holding a vajra and sword respectively, and your left hands holding a threatening gesture and lasso respectively. The first two right hands are active expressions of the red Tara's boldness and creativity and aggression to destroy the unruly sentient beings and so on their ways, and the left hand holding the threatening gesture, and lasso is the left hand passive gesture. And anyway, so you visualize, so up to that visualization of yourself as a Tara, then you should mark all the 6 places of your body, such as white Om on your eyes, you know, on Tare Soha, blue syllable Om Tu Tare Soha on your ears, on the yellow Om Tu Re Soha on your nose, red Om Tu Soha on your tongue, blue Om Re Soha on your heart center, and green Om Tarini Swaha on your crown. So you visualize all these mantras, each of these mantras are standing on the moon disk and the mantras. And then on top of that you visualize white syllable Om on your forehead, red syllable A on your throat, blue syllable Hung on your heart. These three white syllable Om represent Virachana, Kaya Vajra, and red syllable A represent Amitabha, Vaka Vajra, and blue syllable Hung on the heart represent Akshobhya, the Hridaya Vajra. So Kaya Vaka Chitta means adamantine body, adamantine speech, adamantine mind. So you should visualize these mantras in all the sense doors and forehead, throat and heart. And so that is the Samaya Sattva Tara. Now you have to invoke the Jnana Sattva, Om Vajra Samanja. So the rays of light issue from those syllables, particularly from the Hung, and invokes the wisdom being Om Vajra Samanja is the invoking mantra, and the gesture is the mudra. Mantra is Om Vajra Samanja. Dhyana is you unveil the appearance of the wisdom being Red Tara before you. And then why you ask her to Za Hong Vam Ho means the Tara absorbs, red Tara, wisdom being Tara absorbs into the Samaya Sattva Tara. The Jnana Sattva and Samaya Sattva merge inseparably. And so then the 5 empowerment deities are invoked. 5 empowerment deities invoked in the space above once again by saying Om Vajra Samanja, and all the appears, 5 Tathagata presided over by Amitabha, and then you request, may all the Tathagata bestow empowerment upon me, and then you request to give the empowerment, and then all the 5 Buddhas presided over by Amitabha says, just like when the Buddha was born in Lumbini, his body was bathed by Brahma and Vishnu and Shiva and all the gods from the heavenly realms came, and they pour holy water and wash him. Likewise, today you're born as a Tara, and you're bathed as a Tara. So with this in mind, you should say the mantra Om Sarva Tathagata Abhishekada Samaya Shreya Om is homage that all the Tathagatas' holy empowerments and glory of the empowerments given to you. Saying thus, the empowerment bestowed. So holy water is poured into you from the vase. Amitabha pours the water. The other four Tathagatas assist ritually, and this fills your whole body, and then all negative is purified. Overflowing water becomes Amitabha on top of your crown. So your crown on top of the red Tara is a tiny Amitabha, seals the blessings. So that's the kind of a peak. That is the kind of a culmination of the sadhana. Now, the culmination of sadhana becomes a recitation of the mantra. Then you recite the Tara mantra. Before you do that, you recite the one verse praise to 21 Tara. For this is the praise to the triple world ruling red Tara, Ushnisha. So the TRAI-LOKYA-VIJAYA-TΑRＡ. So I bow to you who is worshipped by Chakra, Agni, Vayu, Brahma, Vayu, Ishvara. So these are the gods. Vayu is the wind gods. In front of whom an assembly demons, zombie, Gandharva, Yakshi give praise. Means this Tara is so honored by everyone in the three realms, including those powerful gods and the demons. And so you're praising to yourself as Tara, who is that, who's adamant, who's fearless, who's triumphant, who's worshipped and honored by all these gods. While this in mind, you develop sense of dignity and pride, and hold your identity as Tara, and then recite the mantra. While focusing on the red syllable Re, surrounded by the mantra on the sun disk in your heart, and then you recite the mantra Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha, the 10-syllable mantra, whether it is that one, or on top of that you visualize Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Sava Vignan Shatru Ujjataya Soha. So this, all the 10 Tara mantras has Om Tare Tu Tare Ture, and then Soha at the end. In between, the specific mantras of relevant Taras are inserted. Sarva means all. Vignan means obstacles. Shatrun means enemies. Ujjataya means conquer. Soha, so be it. So you are requesting Tara to conquer all the enemies of demons, demonic influences. With this mind, you recite the mantra. When you're reciting mantra, you imagine real demons is your wrong views. Here, the real demon is you're grasping to the aggregates as me. Your real demon is you're still afflicted, you know. These four maras are the real demons. Four maras are the Klesha Mara, Skanda Mara, you know, fear of death Mara, and ego Mara. These are the four, the real Shatrun, enemy, that you should conquer. So you should recite the mantra as long as you possible with this develop concentration and feeling, joy, devotion, faith, concentration, and retention of all the above. So you recite the mantra as not just long as possible, as clearly as possible, not just sobbing yourself, not just imprecise recitation, not wrong recitation, not fast, not too slow, not too sluggish, but not too overly excited, avoiding all of those extreme faults of mantra recitation. You should recite the mantra whisperingly with a combination of karma by special insight meditation. You should recite the mantra in the divine pride of Tara. So with this you conclude. Then, so that's the main part of the sadhana, reciting the mantra. Reciting mantra is very blessing. It really boosts your mantra and your mouth, your speech, and it enlivens your blessings in the oral transmission you receive. The person who recites mantra regularly have the greatest power to mind his speech, because he's usually busy, always saying the mantras. He wouldn't get involved in all kinds of useless conversational chatter. So have good, meaningful conversation. So that's the main part of sadhana. Conclusion of the sadhana comes with the supplication. Oh Bhagavan, please bestow common and uncommon attainments upon myself. So common is the worldly common CDs, such as long life, good wealth, all this. These are worldly CDs. And the supermundane CDs are attainment of enlightenment, and never forgetting the right view and bodhicitta, and refuge, quality of triple gem, and always seeking to attain benefits to sense and brain. That's the ultimate bodhicitta. Then you conclude the sadhana by doing the dissolution visualization. Light is issued from your heart, causing the lotus and your sun disk upon which you sit dissolve in the light. This absorb into you. So therefore you just vanish into emptiness. Stay in that state of emptiness for a while, then you reappear, and then you do the dedication of marriage to finish the sadhana. And by the merit, by this merit may I accomplish quickly the stage of ayatara, so that I can place upon that stage all living beings without exception. So with this mind, you do the dedication of merits. So in this way, it's very good that all of you have taken liberty to receive the empowerment, even more so to try to understand how to do the sadhana and get to know the structure, content, meaning, and application of the sadhana, not just as something you do on a cushion every day, but off the cushion, on the road, on some difficult situation. How do you remember the bodhicitta, you remember compassion, remember joyfulness, equanimity, and tolerance, and forgiveness, and bodhicitta, refuge, all those incredible Dharma, pearl of wisdom in the sevenfold prayer. You remember that every day in your everyday life. You will see that you have, then you are mantrayanist, because you're always remembering the teachings on your mind, and then you are protecting, guarding your mind from wrong discursive thoughts. Poor me, how dare he. You don't think like that. But still you do, don't we? We slip back into some ordinary samsara. But you don't slip back very long. You quickly regain your consciousness. Because you remember the Dharma, you remember the bodhicitta, you remember the triple gem, you remember SØRYAGUPTA and all the lineage masters' blessings coming through you through this empowerment. And so you renew this kind of mentality and attitudes every day, regularly. And you can see the empowerment has a ripple effect, not just in the evening when you receive the empowerment, but every day you recite the mantra, turn to your Dharma study group or practice, or your everyday to kindness and generosity you practice. You're no longer needing other people's generosity. You just have to have contentment how much people give you, are giving to you. You're no longer needy and greedy anymore. You're so contented with all the things that people are doing and not doing to you. Sometimes people get spoiled by lots of giving. If people are not giving you much, you should be thankful not giving to you, because it spoils you. This is the real sadhana, Sadhana is not some kind of esoteric thing, sit on the cushion and you do a few hours of mantra recitation, and as you are nowhere to be met or contacted. But out of the sadhana, you are acting like an ordinary, person, deluded, dualistic, judgmental, reactive, impatient. And then what's the benefit of the sadhana? You definitely have not received empowerment, let alone the sadhana. But if you have received the sadhana, you have understood the Dharma. It has renewed your ability to reinterpret the Dharma's teachings. And therefore, Vajrayana is a skillful method to help you to understand basic Dharma in your everyday life, so that you never forget the Dharma. That is the reason. So with this we have concluded empowerment and sadhana explanation. explanation as best as I can. With this, we are coming close to the snake year. In a matter of few days, we are about to turn to a new year according to lunar calendar. Whether you celebrate or not, that is so in Asian subcontinent and Japan and Buddhist. So I wish you all a very wonderful, wise, thoughtful, compassionate year ahead, and turn back the chapter of the year that however it has been, it's no more. It's all finished, and so with this we will now do the conclusion, concluding dedication of marriage. So think kindly of your parents and everyone in your life, and rejoice all such good things, such as this empowerment and teaching.
Nương công đức này giúp chúng con vượt qua tất cả phiền não mà chúng ta cảm giác, giúp con giải thoát tất cả chúng sinh khỏi trầm luân biệt khổ sinh lão bệnh tử, từ việc được nghe các giáo pháp đại thừa. Với bất kỳ công đức nào con đã tiếp cận, nguyện mọi chúng sinh thành pháp khí thánh tịnh, có thể nắm giữ các giáo pháp đại thừa. Các tăng thủ dũng mãnh thông khẩu vạn pháp và đức phổ hiền Bồ Tát cũng vậy. Nay con xin nguyện nương hương các ngài, thực hành hồi hướng tất cả muôn công đức, Bồ Đề tâm vương, tâm tướng, tâm vô cùng, chân quý. Nơi tâm ấy chưa sinh, xin cho tâm ấy để sinh. Nơi tâm ấy đã sinh, xin cho tâm ấy đừng bao giờ thoái chuyển. Và mãi mãi những ngày được vươn lên cao hơn. Nguyện đem công đức này hướng về khắp tất cả đệ tử và chúng sinh đều trọn vẹn. Nguyện cho kiến giải thì báo nguyện đánh không. Phát khởi nơi nào chưa sinh, nơi nào đã sinh, xin cho tất cả chi kiến ấy đừng bao giờ thoái chuyển. Và mãi mãi những ngày được vươn lên cao hơn.
Pressure of your antenna, where has been born made freely with the degeneration. Okay, everyone. Thank you very much.
Xin cảm ơn tất cả quý vị đạo hữu.
Thank you, everyone. All the translators.
Cảm ơn tất cả các phiên dịch.
I can see Elena and Jose. Thank you, familiar faces, as well
cảm ơn tất cả quý vị đạo hữu.
Pamela.
Thầy cảm ơn Pamela.
Emma also. Leonardo and everyone. Thank you very much.
Xin cảm ơn tất cả các đạo hữu phiên dịch.
See you next time.
Hẹn gặp lại quý vị đạo hữu vào buổi tiếp theo.
Dear friends,
các đại hữu thân mến,
on behalf of Sakya friends, I express our deepest gratitude to our dear teacher Lama Chödak Rinpoche for the profound empowerment and practice explanation. The texts of sadhanas in each language are shared in the Zoom chat. After Rinpoche's explanation, something can be edited in the text of sadhanas in some languages, such as Russian, and maybe other languages. So if you check the link to the disc with sadhanas by tomorrow, the sadhanas text there might be slightly updated. Many thanks to all the translators. Today, over 1,500 people joined the empowerment. Tomorrow, Rinpoche will give the empowerment of the 7th Tara from 21st Tara, Black Tara crushing adversaries. The event tomorrow will start at the same time as today. The Zoom ID will also be the same. Thank you everyone and see you tomorrow in Sakya Friends Zoom and YouTube.
Xin hẹn gặp lại quý vị đạo hữu vào tối ngày mai. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại.